Another nail biter. What a crazy game. It felt so good. A friend of mine made me predict the score of the game. And by halftime, he was or close to it, he's like, I'm not sure if I'm going to finish watching it. And I said, well, I don't think you're going to have to. And it became a wild one. But the reality is, facing a division opponent on the road when your coach is Belichick and you got O'Brien, it's never easy. There's a lot of stuff to pull from this game. But the key thing, and I'm going to do a little homer here, is we broke the Patriots' 20-plus year of not going 0-2, and it felt great. Now, I don't like Bill Belichick. I don't want to see him break Shula's record. I respect what the guy's done, but I am very, very happy for this. It was a good win for us. It wasn't the most beautiful, and there are some warts in it, but there's some great stuff too. And the Dolphins are now 2-0. They lead the AFC East. We're going to be playing the Bills in 2 weeks without Von up in their house. It gives us a good opportunity to steal one. Patriots have now lost one at home. They're a tough team, though. We got a lot of injuries. You got to watch out for them, but we've just put ourselves ahead of them. Jets, I don't know. If they don't get another quarterback, forget about it. Just forget about it. And then, so the Dolphins took care of Chargers last week, and so that's a division, a playoff spot tiebreaker that we can get rid of. Bengals are looking bad. So there's a lot of stuff around this 2-0 record right now to say the Dolphins are doing really good. Now, like I said, I really don't like the Patriots. I didn't, that Super Bowl they were in where on a perfect season, I couldn't even watch the last 2 or 3 plays. I went in the corner and said, I told my wife, tell me what's going on. I couldn't even watch it. I thought my heart was going to blow out of my chest. I hate the Patriots. But this game, you got to see McDaniel and Fangio and O'Brien and Bill Belichick just do some amazing stuff. The Patriots were hamstrung in a lot of ways. And the Dolphins, it's not an easy situation where they were at. And they coached, all 4 of them coached masterfully. It is a pleasure to see the talent and skill of these 4 coordinators. Now, a lot of the stuff I had talked about last week, I said, I'm not really concerned about the run defense. And I got called by some crazy, among other things. But you could see here, we dialed it up because you didn't have to worry about the movement skills of Herbert. You really didn't have the vertical attack of Williams. And it changes a lot of stuff. But on top of that, the personnel of the Dolphins changed on their front. And then they weren't facing the talented offensive line of the Chargers. That's why I say this evaluation process is a mixed bag. Van Ginkel, I love Phillips, unbelievable pass rusher. But Van Ginkel for this game actually worked out a little bit better. Van Ginkel and Chubb on the end, rotating Davis and Sealer and Wilkins inside with Long behind him with Baker. It against a kind of a broken offensive line. They had Onwenu for a while, but he went out. Trent Brown was out. And it just dominated pretty much. I mean, there was some plays here and there. But overall, right from the beginning, you got to see Fangio with the blitz, really screwing up that drive. This was a turnaround and shows you that Fangio morphs depending on his opponent. And depending on the talent level, you're going to get different results. And Fangio is working with an incomplete unit, and this guy is truly, truly special. Now, we had them on the ropes because for the most part, they were beating themselves and doing non-Belichick stuff, the fumbles, the penalties. But then towards the end, we started getting a little sloppy. And of the 4, we got Belichick and O'Brien, and you got Fangio, McDaniel. McDaniel was doing hot to trot early. Really, really good. But that tail end, I didn't understand the field goal. I thought that was a bad decision. You just punt it at that stage and then, try to get it in between the 20, somewhere at the 10, and let your defense play. You're up by 7. I didn't like that call. But for the most part, McDaniel again showed advancements. There weren't any really illegal procedure penalties. I mean, we had more penalties as it went on, but in his side of the ball, for the most part, aside from some holds and things of that nature, we saw a lot of growth, and he dialed up some runs. He was hitting the edge. He knew that Belichick had to play heavy shell. This wasn't a normal Patriots defense. He was ultra conservative. But they lost. They didn't have Jack Jones. They didn't have John Jones. 2 huge losses. And then they lost Marcus Jones in the middle. And if it wasn't for the stellar, I mean, truly stellar play of Gonzalez playing on Hill all day, they should have been blown out. But they had to play total shell, and I give them all the credit in the world. And it shows you the difference. Look what Staley called with more talent in their secondary. Maybe not safeties. At corner, they had a little bit more talent than Belichick. But Belichick understood on how to limit everything. And this is what I'm saying. It's not all 1+1. For me, I like, for the most part, Tua's game better this week than last week. I know he had 4 huge plays last week. He had about 2 huge plays this week. So he had more big plays last week, but he was given a lot more easy stuff to deal with. This was a different kind of game. This was for him being patient, being wise. And a pick he had at the end, that was because the pressure came instantly. Jackson got destroyed, and he had to get rid of that quick. Underthrew it. The snap, one was kind of snapping low, but the other one was hit him in the hand. And so he had 2 flaws in. But for the most part, I liked what Tua did, where he's continuing. I like what McDaniel's continuing. Some bumps in the road at the end, but we got the W, so we can go back and correct this stuff. And again, Fangio was stellar. Now, it was big plays. The Fangio blitz, the Chubb fumble, X-pick. Then there was the block punt, field goal by the Patriots, and then there was that bad call for the TD that should have been lineman ineligible and blocking down the line of scrimmage, but they got the TD. Then there was the int by 2 and the VG sack and the big run up the middle by Mostert. With Hunt had a brilliant block. He came inside for the double, then peeled back and opened up like the Grand Canyon. Then there was the missed snap and then the Chubb sack and then the Gesicki pitch that ended it. What a crazy, crazy game. What a great game. Before I wrap it up, though, I want to say, guys, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate all you guys do. I'm going to get into the little nitty-gritty part after this, but I want to say the likes, the subscribes, the comments, the views, all that stuff keeps this channel going, tells my sponsor that I'm not screwing it up and doing a pretty good job. So please keep that up. I want to give you a shout-out and a shout-out to Ace Per Head, because without the 2 of you, this show ain't going down. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, so that was my ramble here because I got a headache. I mean, it was just, I get so into this thing, and things I remember, sometimes the second quarter and third quarter get swapped around. But I'm telling you, Van Ginkel is a guy I wanted back, and some people are saying he's not really much of anything. Fangio got him back and reeled him back, and how big a move is that? This guy is going to get a second contract under Fangio. He played unbelievable off the edge, unbelievable in run defense. This guy can play now in the middle, and he can play on the edge. What a big piece. I would put him maybe up there, tied with first with Mostert. Mostert really shows what he's about. I didn't want Cook. I didn't want Taylor. I believe that Mostert is the better back for what we do here. And this guy is so talented. He made a bunch of unbelievable plays for us. Over 100 yards rushing on a day. So now some of that, you're a hater, Curtis. No, some of it's inflated because they had to play that coverage that they were playing. But if we didn't get those plays, we probably would have lost. And so you have to attack the weakness. And Mostert did that with his reads, his speed, and his physicality through the hole. And for me, it was like, who's the more important guy overall? To me, it was VG and Mostert as the top 2. But then Smythe, I liked a lot. he had some catches and stuff like that, but his blocking was really good tonight, and it helped us out a ton. And so I put him on a little level below them. And then Wilkins had a great night. Really came in and helped stop this run. Had an excellent night in both pass rush and run stop. Chubb, he had the fumble and the sack. So, these guys really came up huge for us. And then, like that second level, I'd put two in. I would have put two in the first level, but the pick and a bad fumble, I think that kind of lowered a little bit, but I still think an excellent night. X had the pick, which was a beautiful, I don't know why they threw that. It was so stupid. I think they did that last year, too. I think in a week one, they had something very similar. But X, he had that hold, or else I would have given him better. He played really well tonight. Had a lot of tackles, put his body on the line a bunch. And then Connor had some snap issues there, or whatever. But the two of them really helped us out a ton. And that break in the middle, that big run, is what these guys, I really like them together. I just need Connor to fix some of these snap issues along with Tua. But these two guys together are beasts. And we're going to need more of this run. So I put them on that second level. And then Waddle, I put on a third level. He had the drop. That was a big drop over the middle when we were in the red zone. But he had almost 100 yards during the night. Excellent night. I hope he's okay with the head injury. Looks like he's pretty good. So I put him there. Now, guys who need help, Eli Apple. Eli Apple, you have to understand how Fangio is like covering him up. And it's the same thing with Belichick. Without the three Joneses, he's got to kind of cover that stuff up and do certain things. Fangio's doing the same thing. And it's sort of some of the reason why he had to do what he had to do last week. Apple is not a guy you want to stop, as we saw last night, or tonight. Now, I'm not going to have to say apologize to Jackson. Anybody who comes to me and says Jackson did a good job. Last week he had 5 pressures. I see all the time they showed like 3 or 4 plays that he did well on. He had 5 pressures last week. That would equate to almost 85 pressures on a year if it played out. It's not good. And this week he got left alone. He had a lot of help again with Hunt. Thank you, DF, again for that point, and I'm on top of that. Connor was blocking alone by himself, along with Lamb, and then they're only able to really rush 4 most of the time. But when Jackson was on his own, he got beat. That was where one of the picks came from. And he had the whole penalty. So I don't have, maybe next week it will change. But this week I put Apple and Jackson as the 2 lowest grades. Now, guys, beating the Patriots is not easy. And the fact that we could beat them at their own game is huge. There are things to correct. We got Needham, though, coming back. We got Ramsey coming back. We got my man Tehran coming back. And for me, I take Lamb, put him in right tackle. But I'm a hater, I guess. So we have a lot of influx in talent. There was no major injuries. Thankfully, Waddle's all right, but we're playing Denver next week. Give him the guy a rest. So this team is really looking easy, 5-1 after 6 games. And now we're going to go see the Bills in their house, sans Vaughn, and it really all comes together for us to maybe steal one from there and be 6-0. There, you can go back and you could say, I didn't like what McDaniel did at the end, but I love what he did. That one call where he had, was it Smythe come out and shoot out, sprint out to the end, and Hill was on his own. But you can see Hill was being guarded by Duggar, and that wouldn't normally happen. That's like a total mismatch. So that's how frail they were. But you got to take advantage of the weaknesses, and McDaniel did that. He had a very good game for the most part, except the end. But like I said, he's a green head coach, and I'm seeing all the growth I expect. I do expect some mistakes still in the second-year head coach, but he is on track. Fangio's on track. This defense is on track. Patriots are a tough team. They're going to get better because they're going to get guys back too, but taking this home game was huge. Dolphins are poised. They are poised. Nothing's written in stone. Anything can happen. But you can't really ask much more than what you got. Anyway, guys, I'll get back to you with some deeper coverage tomorrow. I got to let my brain settle and then kind of look at the game again with objective eye. I was yelling and carrying on like a 2-year-old. Anyway, good night. Excellent night. 2-0. Fantastic. Patriots got the good stuff. Curtis saying, catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.